We all know the Joker is Batman's arch-nemesis. But does he really need to be? Couldn't someone else fill that spot? I know, blasphemy, but I am pretty well known as a blasphemer, so in this video I'm going to suggest numerous reasons why the Riddler should be, or at least could be, the Batman's arch-nemesis instead. Nowadays, people tend to really overanalyze the rivalry between Batman and the Joker. They play it up as far deeper and more complex than it really needs to be. But in the end, the only real reason Joker is Batman's nemesis is because he's really popular. If you look back at the 1940s and 50s, almost every single issue of Batman had at least one Joker story. That should give you an idea of how popular the character was already from the start. That's why. Because there's lots of other villains who could fit as the Dark Knight's nemesis just as well as the Clown Prince. One such example is the Riddler, and here are several reasons why. The Riddler is Batman's smartest enemy. In fact, the character's entire deal is a great intellect. His MO is to challenge the Dark Knight in a duel of wits, not brawn like Killer Croc, or brazen craziness like the Joker. He challenges Batman's mind. Batman is supposed to be the world's greatest detective, right? Isn't that like his main thing? Well, the only villain who really puts that to the test is the Riddler. Sure, there's detective work in most of Batman's cases, but none so challenging as the Riddler's. His crimes are the toughest to crack. The Riddler attacks Batman directly. He sends clues for his crimes in a deliberate attempt to confront Batman. The Joker also commits crimes to attract Batman. However, he doesn't directly lead Batman to his crimes. He simply pulls them off and hopes that maybe they'll cross paths. The Riddler is a direct challenger, practically sending invitation cards to Batman for each and every of his capers. No other rogue targets Batman quite so specifically like the Riddler does. The Joker doesn't actually want to defeat Batman. After all, he wants their game to continue on. Defeating Batman is the last thing on his mind. The Riddler, on the other hand, wants nothing but to defeat Batman. The Riddler doesn't really enjoy their game. He in fact hates it. And he hates Batman. He wants nothing but to be rid of Batman forever. Because if he does that, if he manages to triumph over the Bat, well, then that means he's finally done it. He's finally proven that he's the smartest man in Gotham. That's his entire goal. Prove he's the smartest person in the city. And Batman is the only one who stands in his way. I mean, there's certainly no competition from Commissioner Gordon. Riddler hates Batman with a burning passion, perhaps more so than any other rogue. The Joker, on the other hand, loves Batman and their game. The Riddler is technically a bigger threat than Joker. He's smarter, as we've already established, and he's usually depicted as a tech genius too. We often see him hack into this and that, and employ a vast array of advanced technological devices. Unlike Joker, he can pull off grand feats from behind a computer screen. He could potentially bring the city to its knees without even leaving his hideout. He's also known for creating grand and elaborate death traps that are difficult even for the Batman to escape. He puts a lot of thinking and planning into his actions. He's a brilliant schemer. The type of stuff you saw the Joker do in The Dark Knight really fits the Riddler more. The Joker doesn't really plan that much. He improvises and goes with the flow. Clever planning and foresight is for the Riddler. In other words, a more formidable foe. Something that people always bring up is that Joker and Batman are opposites. This I naturally agree with. Joker is very colorful and he has an upbeat personality and loves to talk. Batman, on the other hand, is dark, grumpy, and a man of few words. But hang on a minute, this fits the Riddler as well. He's also very colorful, he's also upbeat, and he certainly loves to talk. I'd say he even loves to talk more than Joker. The man loves to hear his own voice after all. He's got a much bigger ego than Joker too, which is a stark contrast to Batman, who's very humble. Batman is a genius too, but you never hear him brag about it. Bragging is Riddler's forte. He wants everyone to know how smart he is, while Batman wants no one to know how smart he really is. He deliberately hides it. I will give 1 point to Joker though, and that is his complete disregard for human life. Nothing is more sacred to Batman than human life, and of course he has a very strict no-kill rule. Joker violates that rule like no one else. The Riddler, on the other hand, is not really known to be a vicious killer. He doesn't actively seek out to kill. However, he will kill indiscriminately when it suits his plans. So even though Joker has him beat in that area, Riddler too is a fairly gross violator of Batman's #1 rule. If you can think of more reasons why Riddler suits as Batman's nemesis, write them down in the comments. Now, the point of this video is not to try to convince you that Joker shouldn't be Batman's arch-nemesis. I think Joker suits really well as Batman's arch-foe. Now, the point of this video is to demonstrate that there are other villains who could easily also be Batman's nemesis. Too much importance has been placed on the Joker, while the other villains have been deliberately downplayed in order to boost the clown. This is a fabricated phenomena. It hasn't happened organically. People want the Joker to be the best because they simply like him the most. But hey, maybe that's how all arch-enemies are born. Anyway, next I'm gonna further explore this subject in a video where I argue why Two-Face should be Batman's arch-nemesis. See you then. We often see him hack into this and that, and employ a vast array of advanced